Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 5 of the Dropped Podcast. Today we are going to go over the new ITC rules and side missions, and then we're going to get right into the wonderful, brand new Codex Space Wolves. So, stay tuned. Today we are short our wonderful dreamboat Derek. Not really sure why, he's just decided not to show up today. But, got another episode on the way for you. So let's get right into it with our still unpainted stuff. And by that I mean our hobby progress. So, as usual, I'm not painting because I'm lazy and suck. But we'll go with good Eric. What are you working on?
Working on some guard. Finally got a tournament list with a mix of wolves and guard to it. And starting to get into them. Get going, get some paint, get some basing. Bought a couple more squads of heavy weapons teams. Getting her all done up.
What about that big fucker over there?
That big fucker, that big old shadow sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it for a while. I was just like, well, why not? Let's give her a go. We'll see. And yeah, having fun painting it. Got the airbrush out, got it taped up. Going for it.
Nice. Kyle?
Nice.
Nice.
I'm working on some Fulgurite Electro Priests. I've been working on these pretty much the entire summer because, also a lazy fuck.
Yeah, but your kit
You also
bash.
keep making more of those pieces.
I do keep adding more because initially it was one squad of like 15, and then it was a squad of 18. And then it was 2 squads of 12, and then it was 2 squads of 15.
And then it was 15 squads of 2.
Then it was like 40, and now I'm back down to 2 squads of 15. Though
you
I've
jumped back down again already.
I've jumped back down again. 2 squads of 20, they're just too hard to hide places. So when you go second, it's hard to like even just block line of sight so that they can't get shot as easily. So we're down to 2 squads of 15. They still do tons of work, so it's not like a big deal.
Yeah.
Being short the 5 models. But they're taking a long time. When I do have finished building the models, I'll definitely take some pictures and put them up on our page. Though,
yeah, we'll throw them up on Facebook.
And I'll show some of the progress as I get them painted up too.
So you didn't like the regular Fulgurites?
No, I mean they're sufficiently badass, but I wasn't really into the whole like bare-chested dudes, and I didn't think their weapons looked very intimidating either. Because they're supposed to be this like hard-hitting, like AP -2 D3 damage weapon, and they kind of look like
Blueberry hugs.
Yeah. So they're like these big burly-chested men. And they're all blue for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they've got these sticks that look more like paddles. And
it's like those
That's
old microphones, the old microphones that had those stripes across
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
that, like, hang from the ceiling with the big ring.
yeah, and I get part of it's supposed to be they channel
Tesla
like
coils.
electricity
Yeah.
and they siphon off the life energy of their enemies. And that's supposed to be how they deal their damage.
Is that supposed to
Yeah,
be
that's their.
I thought they just discharged it.
No, the Corpuscari Electro Priests. That's how they kill things, is by discharging electricity.
So they're pals.
But
One's eat, the other one's shit it out.
But the Fulgurites, they leech bioelectricity.
What if they miss and hit themselves?
I don't know. I guess it sucks to be you that day. Yeah. If you're an Electro Priest. Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
What are you working on, Blythe?
I'm finishing up. I'm basically finishing up my 2,000 points at this point.
Ooh.
In between last episode and this episode, I finished all my
Yeah, you did a lot of
custodies.
work.
Really slow clap.
That was
Actually, it's pretty impressive.
Just
They
one
look
time.
awesome.
Just a single clap.
yeah. So that was 10 models, and then which
Should,
sounds awful for 2 weeks, but 10 models, and now I'm working on my Death Company. Because I painted them white, and then I null-nulled them, and now I'm painting them white again.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, see, that's why you just paint
Don't
like I
null-null
do.
them. Yeah.
Paint like I do and cut corners everywhere to get a still decent-ish look.
Do you mean by not painting, like cut the corner that hard?
No, well, no, like with the method that I did, where I just spray them black and then I just dry brush the color on, and the shade is automatically
It
created.
might have been faster.
Probably would have been
It probably
faster.
You
would've been
can't
faster.
cut corners if you don't leave the house.
That's fair. You could cut the corners off the inside of your house.
I don't get that saying.
I cut all the corners
I don't
off
get it
every
either,
single
but I'm
one of my
going with
models, so they're perfectly round. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I see.
Bad Eric.
Sometimes
that's
you
me.
That's you.
Yeah. Just appreciate what people say, man. It doesn't have to make sense.
I don't understand the house thing at all. What does the house thing mean?
The house thing?
Yeah, you can't cut corners if you don't leave the house.
Well, usually you cut corners with the car to make things faster, hence the cut corners. You cut over them.
What if
So
I just cut a
if you
corner and
don't
go
leave-
into a hallway to save time?
What?
But you can't cut the
walking.
corner. There's wood there.
Yeah.
You run into the wall.
The point is,
You don't
what are
have to
you
go
working
straight
on?
See, okay, first of all, you're
This
still
is
really
too big.
quiet, and you're right next to the mic.
Alright, well.
He's just confused.
just maybe try
Turn up the
not.
volume a little
Just
bit.
try not sounding like you want to kill yourself every second. You're always just like, yeah, I guess I'm just doing this today. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
I thought I was your dad.
You're welcome,
You're
son.
not my dad.
Well,
I look nothing like you.
You may not be
that
his
is
dad.
so
You know
true.
what? You might be old enough, Chris.
I have all my hair still.
not where it counts.
Wow.
What does that even mean?
I don't even
I'm
know.
your dad. You have to understand that it's just the truth.
Where does the hair count?
He's talking about his bush.
Is that where it counts?
I'll cut this out. This is horrible.
So, what are you working on there, Eric?
I've still got my endless tide of gaunts to do, and I've added more gaunts, and I have to paint a Malanthrope. I'm mostly doing flesh slits, which, for those of you who don't know what those are, in Tyranid skin, there's little breaks with little weird bumps in them. I assume that's what happens under the skin. It's like a show of muscle tissue, so I call it flesh slit. Anyways,
gross.
there's like a million of them on every Tyranid, and they're all tiny, but you have to do them all. So yeah, I'm doing that.
You
Finishing
gotta paint.
skin. A lot of painting where I've been messy painting chitin, so I have to go fix that. And it's just kind of an endless trudge.
You're
Through how many models are in your list right now?
207.
Yeah. So 200.
6 of them are done.
completely.
Oh, 9.
Not.
Okay, that's still pretty solid.
I finished 3 warriors and then took them out of the list. So,
So how many days left do we have here?
not enough.
Like 2 weeks?
Yeah, we're about 2 weeks away from Attack X
Two
in
and a half
Kamloops.
weeks.
Yeah, so it'll be next weekend and the following one.
So you've
and
got
then
to.
attack X.
So just finish 10 models a day, every day. And you'll almost make it.
Then I'll almost make it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Do you have 3 colors?
Solved.
Do I have, oh yeah, everything has at least 3 colors.
Then you're fine.
But
Everything's painted.
it doesn't feel right. It's gotta be done.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
well,
That's where I'm headed right
Have
now.
fun trying.
You know what if I do?
I'm
I believe in you.
My
You have to
days
buy
when
me a
I'm no
Pepsi.
longer allowed to come over here for extra time to hang
I can't
out.
afford a
I'll
Pepsi.
just be at home.
Play Warhammer.
I can't afford a Pepsi.
The nice thing is some of my guard are pretty much finished.
Could you afford a
So-
Coke?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big
man.
thing is getting those 3 colors, and then you just add.
What if
you
they
know,
serve it
add.
here?
And that's what I'm sitting here because I really want to spend time and make my Shadow Sword fucking epic. And I'm going to put in a lot of the time to it, so I'm trying to get everything done. So it's at least 3 colors
Mhm.
before I start committing to my Shadow Sword to it. Because,
I mean, that midnight purple on that thing looks slick as fuck already.
yeah, and that's all it's been on there.
Yeah,
I
no.
haven't even done any shadow. I haven't done anything to it. It's just the base.
Well,
man.
That's
the
good.
tape counts as a color, doesn't it?
That's,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll say so.
It's I use the tape for lighting effect.
Oh, there you go.
That's right.
And it does look lighter there.
Sure does.
It's really
Yeah.
big light on the side
I
of
mean,
it.
it's white
Yeah.
tape, so...
The sponsons, I decided to turn them into a big light.
Just a light
I mean,
sword.
that's what las cannons are. Those on top, right?
Exactly.
Just
they're
get
on
little
top.
LED
They're
flashlights.
right here, actually. They need a
Oh,
little
look
bit.
at that.
So, moving
wait,
on.
Derek, what are you working on? Oh, okay, great. Okay,
No,
so
whoa.
Dreamboat, Derek.
Dreamboat.
Dreamboat
Yeah,
Derek
Come on,
left.
Jesus
He's not here
Christ.
today because he doesn't love us anymore.
Yeah.
We don't know what we did or what.
No, I think he's just got a lot of shit he's got to take care of. Because
He's got
starting
school
school
coming up
and he's
pretty
still
quick.
working, and he's still got to do the thing that involves living, which
Yeah.
is errands and
And sometimes life
paying
sucks.
taxes.
So.
and all
And
that
painting everyone
shit.
else's
Life
models.
does shit on you a couple times.
Yeah, but he's making money doing that, Chris.
Yeah.
That's true.
Still sucks.
Still sucks.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do it.
Well,
Derek likes
I
it.
would if I had the skill level.
This last week, everyone except myself has played a lot of games. And by that I mean Chris missed out as well.
Ready for attack
Yeah, I
X?
sure did.
Getting ready.
Yeah, getting a bunch of practice in.
I've been here every day since Wednesday.
Me too.
Yeah, you live here. But yes, you have still been playing.
Me too.
How many games have you guys played over the course of that?
I've played 3.
You played 3?
Before today?
I think so. Well,
Yeah.
okay, two and what's one turn?
A game?
It depends. Was it
It's
2.5
a
hours?
I only played
Against
2
some
games. I played
opponents,
one
it is a
against
game.
you and I played one against Eric.
And I played one against Good Eric and one against Lindsay.
Well, never mind. I played 1 and whatever one turn counts as.
That's a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Chris?
Oh, we should have seen the ice cold glare on that one, folks.
Chris had one game today. He played one.
Yeah, this past week I played painting 10 Custodies. That's what I did.
Ah.
Did
Well,
you win?
aside from this afternoon.
Did you
Yes.
win?
So all the games you guys were playing were ITC practice for
Yes.
Attack X, clearly. Did anybody play the new Attack X
Mission.
mission and side objective?
We did.
Secondary,
Kyle and I
yeah.
played
Secondary, yeah,
secondaries.
secondary.
Secondaries, yeah.
Kyle and I did use the newest secondaries. I am unsure if we played.
I think we've all used at least
Yeah.
some of the
The new stuff.
secondary
Even
objective
I have
changes.
with Dreamboat Derek last week. I played with, I believe it was.
Yeah.
We even played the new.
with some of the changes. Yeah.
With the changes, we played the new mission. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you and I played Game with the New Mission, which I
Yeah.
have to say, I like the new mission. I like it a lot better than What's Yours Is Mine.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah.
Bad Eric and I just played that match, and he got pretty screwed without the objective secured. I just parked a big ass tank on my objective, and
When you're
It was big
fighting,
enough.
sharing and caring is kind of tough.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said when you're fighting, sharing and caring is kind of tough.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
So
Also, you're a bear.
I'm so glad that mission's
And
gone.
you can stare and count.
Yeah. And the swap around so that you don't have a whole bunch of like 5 objective missions all lined up in a row. So when you are playing 5 rounds in a tournament,
Like a rainbow.
that'll be a nice change when we do play in a tournament.
Yeah.
that'll
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
First
Definitely.
tournament for Good Eric and Bad Eric and Lindsay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very true. It is your first tournament.
Yep. So it'll be a good experience. Looking forward to it.
Sweet. I will be going to some next year, hopefully,
Cool.
if I grow a pair and learn how to play competitively.
Well, the nice thing is, just the way scoring and whatnot works is, you're okay. Yeah, your first two games might maybe the first one goes really well, second one goes really crap. Your third game, your fourth game, one of those is probably going to be a really good game because you should be playing against somebody who's pretty close to your skill level.
Right.
Just because you'll have played matches prior to that, right? Like that's. And that's one of the best parts about it. Whereas in the garage, you've got whomever your friends are, and sometimes there's going to be this huge disparity, and there's disparity between skill levels between friends,
Right.
and there's no way to accommodate for that, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jumping back actually really quick to the ITC new stuff. So they got rid of What's Yours Is Mine, and they replaced it with
Something better.
Does it have a name? I don't know.
Yeah,
Does it
it
have a
does. Did I write it down?
I'm sure its parents' name is.
I like how tiny your notebook is.
It's adorable.
So cute.
Okay.
I feel like they made it out of barely the skin of one squirrel.
I didn't, but it is. It's scenario 4.
Great.
Would be scenario 4. So
what-
typically in a 5 rounds.
So what is it though? Like, what's the main objective, Chris?
There's 5 objectives. There's a middle objective that's always dead center in the board.
Yeah.
And then each player gets 2 that they get to place, which is cool because placing objectives, I feel, is like it's not something we get to do that much in the ITC missions.
Right.
So it's cool to add one. I think we now have like 2 like that, or I would say. But so you each get 2, and you take turns placing them one at a time. And one of the ones you place has to be in your opponent's deployment zone.
Interesting.
9 inches away from the board edge, 12 away from another objective. So you have to kind of choose if you're going to put that one down first or second,
Right.
because it can be interesting. If you do it first, then they can just park their other one right next to it, and then they're sitting just in a nice like castle essentially,
Right.
which is kind of similar to the old mission. But then you can kind of game it a little, which is cool.
Well, it rewards good decision making, which is
Yeah.
what you want to see. It's not just a little bit of RNG. You know,
Yeah,
it
and
rewards
then-
good decision making.
Yeah, and then the bonus is you hold both of the ones that you placed. You'll get the bonus. So
Yeah.
you kind of
Oh,
still
okay.
want to place. You want to place yours strategically, so
Yeah.
you can reach.
And they're actually they kept the name. It's still called "What's Yours Is Mine,"
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
perfect.
okay.
There you go.
which makes sense because
Yeah.
you're still placing one in your opponent's zone. You're still placing one in your own
Just a
zone.
100% upgrade all around.
Yeah.
Good job, Resius.
What was that noise?
Resius, yeah, I think that's the fellow who's in charge
Resius.
over at
I don't remember his
Frontline
last
Games.
name,
Neither do I. But I mean, like they've got a whole team of people that play test and go through this stuff.
We're going to take a quick second to pause because there's a horrible noise coming from outside. And we're good to go. What were we saying?
Frontline Gaming guys.
I can cut this
They're
out.
great.
Mission 100% upgrade.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the mission's awesome. Did they only
Secondary.
add the one secondary, or did they add a few?
They cut a secondary.
Oh, okay.
They cut gangbusters because everyone hated it.
And frankly, like it wasn't relevant very often, and the things it was relevant against, like it was just too easy to score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just useless on. Yeah, it was either like relevant or not, and
Yeah.
most are, but rarely useful.
So they replaced it with.
I guess the replacement would be Butcher's Bill.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't say that that's the replacement. The replacement would probably be the one where you score point for every objective you hold at the end of the last battle round.
Or the PL one. Could be that one. There's one
I
where
guess
you-
it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But so they added that one with the objectives.
Yeah.
They added that power level one. Which,
Yeah, so you pick 4 enemy units with power level 7 or greater, and then if you kill them by the end of the game, or each one you kill, I guess, gets you a point.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Which is
And
very cool. I like
They
that.
added Butcher's Bill.
Butcher's Bill, which is kill 2 enemy units in a turn, so that you can score that on your turn and your opponent's turn.
So this is the
At
one that
least
I've
two.
seen you guys play the most.
Yeah.
We seem
Yeah.
to really like it. And then Reaper's changed now. Now you just count
Cumulative models.
total models killed, and every 20 is a point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's kind of
Which
it's
against
a great
hordes
Yeah.
is very
Then-
very useful.
Sure.
Yeah.
It
Sure
makes
is.
it a lot less like I have to kill this 20 man.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or everyone taking 19s, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't even count infantry, it's just straight models.
Anything dies,
Yeah.
it counts.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even killing a character or
Yeah.
tank still adds to that count,
Yeah.
which
That's
is
cool.
nice.
I like
yeah.
that a lot, actually.
I think that's all the major
Yeah, that,
changes. There's
think
they
that's-
did they have it so most of the character killing secondaries don't stack anymore.
Which is nice. Yeah. So
Yeah.
things like Titan Slayer, King Slayer,
Headhunter.
Headhunter.
Yeah.
If you killed a character that could count for all of those, then you have to pick which objective that point is going to apply to.
Yeah, you
Oh,
pick
okay, cool.
Magnus for Kingslayer. You can't kill him and score both Kingslayer and Headhunter if you choose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Which includes if you kill him, I believe, all in one turn, you would choose all 4 of the Kingslayer or 1 Headhunter. Because you pick it all at once.
Well, naturally, you'd obviously go for the
Yeah, obviously,
headhunter
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it makes nice. There's some decision making.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing
That's
I
kinda
think
cool,
with that
actually.
is that it kind of it slows the scoring down
Yeah.
without slowing the game down.
Yeah.
Which is nice because you have you don't have the crazy blowout turns, or I'm sorry, there's still crazy
Points-wise.
blowout turns
Points-wise.
points wise,
Yeah.
but at least they're not. They don't push one person as far ahead as they would have.
Yeah, because
Right, you might be looking at an 8 or 10 point turn, as opposed to before it wasn't unreasonable for you to max all of your secondaries in a single turn, and now it might be difficult to do that.
Yeah, well, there's certain models like tank commanders where they would get you 3 or 4 points on their own if you just took stuff like Kingslayer and Headhunter and big game hunters.
Exactly.
on its own.
Yeah.
So, it's
Which
like how
is,
that changed.
and if it's the first turn and you kill a tank commander, I mean, that one model is worth 5 points to you, right? Which
Well,
is just
a
nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's actually really cool. I think that's everything, though,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
as
say
far as
all
the
around,
ITC
like
changes.
I have no negatives to say about the changes. Like, I
No,
feel like
super
they're all
super
good.
happy with them.
Cool.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I've been noticing.
Yeah, I tried to write down some likes and dislikes, and I really couldn't think of anything that I was
Should have happened sooner.
unhappy
There's
with. Yeah, it would have it would have been like I know the guys over at Frontline Games are probably pretty busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been nice to see updates sooner.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, like they could have held off until the end of the season, and they threw it out mid-season, and that's awesome.
Which
Yeah.
which is huge. Yeah, great to
Because
see
there
it
were
come
problems
mid-season.
with the previous ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, great to see it come mid-season as opposed to at the end. Yeah.
because that'll be what, February or something, I think.
Oh yeah,
Whenever
well I
LVO
think
is,
I
right?
think well I don't
Because
know.
LVO's, I think, the
I think
big gap.
LVO is actually the last event
Right.
of the season.
Right.
So I mean, if it had happened post LVO, that's a long time to wait.
Yeah.
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 Cool. So do we want to get into the wolf decks then?
No, I wanted
Or-
to. You wanted to talk about the.
Oh yeah, no.
the upcoming tournament.
So yeah, there's
Speaking of
a
tournaments,
few
right?
cool tournaments coming up. The only ones I'm going to talk about are the Canadian ones because the only cool place in the world is Canada.
We are the best.
These were just the ones that I could find easily online, and for the most part, I was only looking for tournaments that were GTs or majors. So I'm sure there's plenty of smaller tournaments, RTTs and the like, that we could probably name. But these were some of the major ones that are coming up in the next month or so. So first up, we've got this very weekend, the Bridge City Open in Saskatoon. For those of you who don't know, that's over in Saskatchewan. Saskatoon.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, so that'll be the 25th through the 26th. So that should be an interesting one to check out. And actually, I guess that'll be their first day would have been today. We've also got in the middle of September here, Warzone Montreal in Quebec. Also, about the same time, I think just the weekend after, Attack X in Kamloops, BC, which the majority of us are attending. Only ones excluded being Matt and Dreamboat Derek. And then lastly, towards the end of the month in September there, we've got the Battle Brothers Fall Cup, also in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
There's not much else to do out there. So.
Yeah, not much else to do there.
I mean, it's really flat.
Yeah. Unless you like farming, that's about as far as you.
Yeah. When you're on one side and you see on the other side they got a cool tournament going on, you want to have one of your own on your side.
Yeah, it is so
Well,
flat.
you
As
can-
long as you
because
like,
otherwise you have to
you can
drive a
stand on
week
your
to go.
house.
Yeah,
and
that's
see what's
right.
going on. Right?
you can look over and see what's happening in the other city and be like, holy shit, there's a big event going
Yeah,
on.
There's a city
Yeah.
over there.
As long as you get on your house and see over some
Yeah.
of the small trees, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Pair of
So
binoculars.
towards the end of the month in September, I'll try and pump up the ones that are coming up for October. But if you do have any that that you know are coming up and you want to let us know so we can share it with the rest of the audience, just shoot us a message on our Facebook page and we'll see if we can try and get a shout out. We can't always talk about every event, but if we
sure
can
try.
talk, if we can talk about yours, we'd love to hype up yours.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with it being Saturday, Codex got dropped. Our resident Wolf player is quite excited.
Oh yeah.
So we wanted to get into the nitty gritty about that. I haven't really looked into it myself, except for gandering at all the beautiful art in the book, and then naturally wanting to make a list because it's new. But I haven't really got into a lot of it. However, several of the others have. So I think what we're going to do is walk through a little bit of the information in there and then go through some pros and cons, what we like, what we don't like. Side note, it appears we forgot the cons, so it's more so us just getting hype. And sort of just review it, I guess, in a sense. Do you have the Codex?
I have
Over
the Codex here somewhere. Oh
I don't know
shit!
what we've done with
I
the
also
hard
threw your
copy.
headphones on the
That's
floor.
okay, they're durable.
Hooray! Headphones on the floor.
We've got a hard copy. We've got
Somebody
some
was
digital
reading it.
copies.
I think it was on that
Is
side.
it
of
still
the
over
door.
there?
It probably is. I haven't used
no, it's underneath your tablet, isn't it?
Oh.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe I did hide it under there.
I'll cut all this out.
I seem to like to say that and then not follow through with it.
Great.
I was thinking it was really funny when we were talking about the tournaments. Like, it starts, it's August 25th to 30th, so if you wanted to go, you fucking missed it.
I mean, I realized that as I was saying it, but
Right.
at that point I was like, well, I'm locked in.
I really wanted to. And if you wanted to go, too fucking bad, because it's already started.
So,
Sick beats, bro.
let's just dive right in. Dive right
Way to
in.
literally grab all your strategies,
Yeah.
all your.
Let's get everything gathered. We should have had it beforehand, but I don't know who wants to sort of take this whole portion head on. But
My body is ready.
All right,
All right.
you know what? Let's let the fanboy.
let's let
Lead
our
on.
resident Wolves player just get right into it.
Okay, let's just fucking do
Charge
this
on.
shit.
How long have you been playing Wolfies?
I've been playing Wolfies since end of 5th and all 7th and a good chunk of in between.
So at least since yesterday.
Oh yeah, more since
At least,
at
yeah.
least since yesterday. Yes. I love them. The lore is actually my biggest favorite part. Yeah, they're Space Marines. Space Marines can be kind of cool, but they're fucking Space Vikings, and they ride around on wolves that are smart and big and terrifying and awesome.
And
Hooray!
robot.
Exactly, and it's also quite comical the fact that some guys are named Wolf, Wolf, Wolf in like 3 different languages. So,
I'm sure
you know, cool beans, right? Big glowing runes, Viking stuff.
Cool.
Hooray!
Yes.
Okay, so
If I follow this list that our host has given me in order of things to talk about.
Actually, it was Chris's idea.
Ooh.
okay, just going. Okay, data slates. There were some. I got mixed feelings about the data slates. Some of the things that there were some tweaks that were good, and some not quite as good. Some units dropped a single attack, and which Space Wolves are pricey. Nice thing is, there's still most things you can still find a way to play it and make it useful. With the exception of, I mean, they gave you more Terminator armor stuff. I'm not a Terminator armor. I just find most of the time they're a bit overpriced. However, the big, huge chapter trait favors HQs to the high heavens and back. So I found, there's some use for some of the pack leaders and some squads, and you also have a sweet little stratagem that if you have one infantry dude left in your squad, he gains 2 wounds, becomes a character, and rerolls all failed hits and wounds for the rest of the game.
What's that stratagem called?
Lone Wolf is the stratagem, and it's only 1 CP.
Okay, but the data slates. What is your favorite unit in the Codex right now?
Thank you, Kyle.
Favorite unit in the Codex?
I like the Wolfen still.
the Wolf. It's hard to say. I love the Wolfen. I'm still a fan of Thunderwolf Cavalry. They're straight up cool. And other than that, I gotta say, Njal Stormcaller.
Yeah.
He's pretty wicked.
And did he go up points, down points? Did he change it all?
He actually did not change much at all. Point value is the same. Pretty much all his skills are pretty much the same as it was in the index. He's still useful. He's still a psychic powerhouse. The only thing that I was a bit unsure about, I'm not so sure about some of the dexes, but usually the really powerful psychers that are known to a lot of the chapters, from what I remember, some of them could even cast like 3 spells per turn.
A lot of like the super strong ones, right? Like Magnus, Araman, I think actually might only be able to cast 2. I don't recall. I haven't played them in a while.
Okay.
I think he cast 3.
Maybe 3, yeah.
Well, he might know 3, but I think he's still. Yeah, I think he casts 2, denies 2, and he gets a plus.
No,
he gets a
I'm
plus
sure
1
he
on his
He gets a
rolls,
plus 1.
right?
I'm pretty sure he's cast 3, deny 3.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Thinking about it again.
I mean, that makes sense. He's supposed to be the baddest actual humanoid psyker out there.
Araman?
Let
Yeah.
us know in the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
If only I had my codex.
Tell us how
Exactly.
wrong we are.
Yeah.
Here's where
Exactly.
we need to look.
Either way, but even without that, with 2 spells, he knows 3. Some of the new spells they added were pretty sweet.
That's what
Yeah,
he named, right?
sure.
It's 3
Um,
spells.
And
We'll cover
Thunderwolf
those,
Cav.
Cav.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
We'll cover the psychic spells later.
But I would, after everything, I still like the Thunderwolf Cav. Those extra attacks, you pretty much get an extra heavy bolter attack with each of them. And with some of the chapter stuff, you get way easier chance to hit. They can soak up a heck of a lot of damage with saves and multiple wounds and a higher toughness. They're fun. They move 10 inches. It's just a big old party of chew your face off if there's a face left after you crush it with your Thunderhammer. So it's pretty cool.
Was there any significant point balances that came through, like point drops or increases? Because usually you get a little bit of that with the codexes.
Yeah, there were some things that changed, but what I found actually most of the stuff that changed was stuff that I personally usually don't run all that often. The Thunderwolf Cav stayed pretty similar, if not the same as they were in the Index. The only difference is you didn't get all the extra stratagems and the chapter tactics. So the nice thing that did make some of the Terminators more useful, either as just a single Terminator armor unit or whatnot, they did drop the point value quite a bit for most Terminators.
And I think they brought them in line with the other Space Marine codexes, so their base points cost is the same as the other codexes, and their weapon costs are the same as the other Space Marines codexes now.
Exactly. They just get the advantage of the special frost weapons that the Wolves get.
Yeah,
right?
which are so cool.
Exactly.
One thing I thought, I don't know if it's still in there or not, but I recall you were talking about the the hell are they called? Just the regular TAC Marines, the Hunters.
Grey Hunters.
Oh,
Grey Hunters.
Grey Hunters.
The Grey Hunters can take a Terminator as their sergeant.
They in every squad you have to have one sergeant and or I'll use the technical name if I can find them in here. I'm just pretty sure just a Grey Hunter sergeant is essentially what it's called.
Yeah, but you can
take a wolf guard.
On top of that, there are Wolf Guard. In the lore, the Wolf Guard are your elites, and the Wolves usually use those elites to mentor the other classes, the other squads and stuff. The Scouts are not pre-tactical Marine. Everything has to become a tactical Marine before you can become a Scout or anything else. So, true with the lore, you get a Grey Hunter pack leader has to come with, in the squad, you get a Grey Hunter pack leader and 5 of the Grey Hunters. On top of that...
4 as a squad of 5.
As a squad of 5. 4 Grey Hunters and a Grey Hunter pack leader. Has to be in a squad of Grey Hunters. But you can add a Wolf Guard Terminator pack leader, or just a Wolf Guard pack leader, and the Wolf Guard gets options for all the special weapons, special melee, combi weapons for shooting, and you tack it into the squad, and so you get that extra saves that you can bounce things off of, and free up invulnerable save.
You can have your regular power armor guys, but take all your wounds on your Terminator first.
Yeah, or the other thing as well that I built some of my squads to do is I do the other way around. I kill all my TAC Marines because the Terminator is going to last longer, and then I pop 1 CP for Lone Wolf.
And you have
I now have a Terminator hero with 4 wounds and rerolls all hits, and all failed hit rolls and all failed wound rolls.
And he gets some bonus wounds as well.
Exactly.
Every
they get 2 wounds added onto it. So your Terminator with 2, he gets another 2 unit with a 4 wound hero. Out of
pretty
the squad.
sweet, actually.
So
for 1 CP.
Yeah,
for 4 dead bodies.
Exactly. And of course, they're still TAC Marines. They're still going to be able to take a decent amount of hit and shooting and soak up some stuff with their saves. So it's
they're TAC Marines that get to take a bolt gun and a chainsaw. So
and the bolt pistol. They get all 3.
So there are no slouches in melee or in the shooting.
It actually kind of reminds me of when in 7th you could attach your characters to a unit.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that. Yeah. Which is actually kind of cool because I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I am kind of glad is they added is with the Wolf decks in this set. They stuck to the lore side of things where there is a more experienced elder fighter that knows their shit that's tacked on to smaller squads to teach and mentor and tactical advice and stuff, so everybody grows in experience rather than just, okay, you're a squad of TAC Marines. Go do this. If you don't die, hooray! You got experience. Yeah,
good job.
Exactly. So it was neat. The one thing that also was nice. I mean, I don't play Primaris Marines, but the fact that they just added them all into here and gave you the Wolf options as well. So you do have a Primaris Rune Priest and a Primaris.
Actually, that is kind of
Wolf
cool.
Lord.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So they did tack on the rules without having to go back and forth, which was really nice. They gave you the option to make your own heroes similar to Murderfang, Wolfen Dreadnoughts, which are cool. Wolfen are pretty much the same. price cost and
Well,
otherwise.
they did modify one of their special rules, did they not?
They did, but it really didn't change anything.
But now they're affected by it where they weren't affected by it before?
Well, before, they had two separate rules. They had their Curse of the Hunt and Curse of...
The Wolfen, I think.
No.
It's Curse of the Hunt and Curse of the Kill? Or
Yeah, Curse of the Hunt or Curse of the Kill or something like that. And essentially, you could choose either Curse of the Hunt or Curse of the Kill. One of them allowed everything within a certain distance with like infantry or cavalry. They got to re-roll their charge rolls. And the other one gave them re-rolls, I believe, or gave them an extra attack or something like that. And they had their own rule that those different curses didn't affect them, but they had a separate rule that allowed them to re-roll their charge rolls. Now, they can just take part of the Curse of the Wolf and Hunt, which allows everything to re-roll their charge rolls, and they don't have that other extra rule. So, I mean, they still benefit from...
Okay, so it was more like a streamlining thing than a straight-up change.
So it wasn't like they got rid of a weird, confusing mashup of rules.
Yeah,
and just
okay.
made it simpler.
So it was more like a streamlining thing than
Curse
than
the
an
Wolf
actual
and
change.
Hunt and Curse the Wolf and Kill. And that's
I
what
see.
it is. And you make an extra attack.
Yeah. And then
So-
the reroll charge.
And then re-roll charge as well.
Yeah.
So, they didn't change too much. They're still pretty sweet. They still tear faces up.
I'm just sad that you can't take more than 30 of them.
I know, but say the least, right? It makes it. Yeah, you could do some really fun shit with that, but at the same time, the fact that others can't take like 50 really cheap psychers.
And I mean, like, given that you can give them all Thunderhammers and Storm Shields, 30 of them's probably plenty.
Yeah, and especially since when they die, you can choose them, or they stay alive and fight one more time.
Yeah. When they die. They
Oh
get
yeah,
all
they've
their
got
attacks
they've got
again.
like a built-in
like death throes
banner kind of thing.
Yeah,
Except you don't need to roll for it.
Yeah, exactly. It just happens.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah, some Contemptor Dreadnought and stuff. They pretty much, like Kyle had said, they made it more in line with the Space Marine decks. They just the real additions are just the Space Wolf fluff
And
and the stratagem.
the Space Wolf heroes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Space Wolf heroes. You still get the Wolf, in which your unique character, your unique units, and your cavalry, which are unique, and your Wolf and Dreadnought. So they have their still unique stuff.
Yeah.
But most of the changes were mostly just to bring things in line. There wasn't too much of a
just
change.
kind of brought it back up to snuff.
Yeah.
I did like things like the Blood Claws and the Sky Claws and the Bikers, which did have something I think it was like Berserk Charge, which gave them an extra attack on the charge.
Yes.
Which was nice because one thing I found playing Space Marines myself is that Assault Marines with jump packs are usually pretty underwhelming because their output doesn't usually match their price cost, and you can't give them a loadout that's sufficient to up that. But the extra attack, I feel, is kind of like a nice little bonus.
The one thing you have to note with that attack, though, is all those units. They have another special rule. They have to charge every time they're able to.
Oh well, now
Unless
I think
they have a pack leader.
Yeah, I think
there's a wolf. Or there's
Yeah.
a wolf priest within a certain
Okay, so
distance,
that's
which
not
is
too
pretty
bad.
easy
Not
to
too
work
bad.
around.
But
Yeah.
the way that does that mean they have to charge the closest unit, or is it anyone who's closest?
Well,
Or
let me
close.
consult
Yeah,
the
because
codex.
if they just have to charge, that's what you're doing with the menu.
Yeah, which
Should
isn't
be
so
okay.
bad. But if it's they have
Well,
to charge
I
the
think
closest
I
unit,
think the
that's
downside
kinda-
there is when you're making a 12 or you're attempting a 12-inch charge, you're
Right, you
eating a
might
bunch
eat
of
some Overwatch.
It just has to.
and there's no way you're gonna.
you just have to
Yeah.
declare charge in your charge phase if possible.
Okay, so that's not so bad because that's probably what you're going to be
Yeah,
doing the
because
first
that's
time
what they're
around.
built for. With that extra attack, you're going to be running in
Be wary of your
and
movement
stuff
phase,
anyways.
essentially.
And,
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
like, you can give Rune Priest a jump pack, and they can easily keep up with those Swift Claws.
Yeah,
and,
You mean Wolf Priest?
Wolf Priest, sorry, that's what I meant. But yeah, a Wolf Priest, and
Yeah.
they can easily keep up with those Swift Claws, and I mean, that's a pretty sweet setup by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just don't count on them to do much shooting. So
No. Well, but and that's the nice thing about you throw they've got an attack each. You give them a chainsword. They get the extra attack on the charge. That's 3 attacks per.
4 for the pack leader.
Right. They get +1 to hit on the charge
Yeah.
because of their chapter tactic. They're all hitting on 2s. They're re-rolling.
Yeah.
Like you
pretty-
get a lot
it's-
out of you. Can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's turned into a very like snowball type.
Yeah.
army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one thing goes off, then it triggers this, and then this is going to happen, and then after you get your warlord trait, it just like amplifies it, and it's ruthless.
Well, and like you were saying before, it's very reminiscent of 7th Ed, where you had those character
Attachments,
Death Stars, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, all in all, I think it's really sweet. And still, the lore's badass as fuck. So, anybody that plays it or hasn't played it yet, if you like Space Vikings and charging and berserking and lots of heroes that do epic shit,
Right.
it's really cool. But that was just the data slates, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll get more into other stuff.
We got a bit of a list here. They got actually a rather unique chapter tactic or trait, I guess you could say.
Yes,
And
they did.
It is really actually cool and unique. I really like the way they did it.
Okay, so everything pretty much gets it. And any turn in which a unit made a charge move, was charged, or made a heroic intervention, you get to add 1 to its hit rolls in the fight phase. And all of your characters, which all of them have this ability,
And you're going to be taking lots.
and you're going to be
Sure are.
badass.
Yes. You also have the option to make more characters mid-game
Right.
Lone
with
Wolf.
Lone Wolf.
Literally hero hammer.
Exactly. And your heroic intervention is 6 inches instead of 3. So you can throw pretty much your line up there. Someone charges into it, and you heroic intervention, and everything hits back real fast.
Yeah,
And
it
hitting
gives,
on 2s.
It gives all your characters a little bit more mobility, I find, which is kind of cool,
Yeah.
actually. Because even if you're your basic Marines or whatever are going to be moving 6 inches, if you're you can kind of space yourself out just so you're in the reroll auras, and then if it happens to you get charged, your character can just be like, oh shit, and just book it across.
Yeah.
Get a whole nother movement phase instead of just half.
Yeah.
It's friggin' sweet.
Yeah, a lot of extra movement out of that. I
Yeah.
mean, when you're factoring in the extra 6 inches you might get out of a heroic intervention, plus a 3-inch pile-in, and then a 3-inch consolidate on top of that, it's a lot.
Yeah.
If you get charged and you kill that thing in the fight phase, your character can move up to 18 inches in a turn. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
That sounds sweet.
That's the best part. And it stayed true to the lore. That was the coolest thing, because the heroes and the epic feats are wolves.
Right.
That's what they do.
Keeping along the lines, though, with the unique sort of traits, all of the warlord traits got misprinted, and then before the Codex was even dropped, they fact it, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But they are also so fucking cool
Yeah.
and unique.
They're all sagas. Everybody wants to complete their saga. And so, like a warlord trait, you pick it and you get your bonus, like a 6-up feel no pain, or extra guys nearby get morale, get to use your morale, or don't have to take morale tests. So cool little warlord stuff. But the neat thing they did is each of those sagas has a quest to complete. Kill something or pass a save or whatever.
It's like having a secondary objective
Yep.
for your secondary objectives.
You have a secondary objective for your warlord traits, and if you complete that objective, you now have a 6-inch aura of that warlord effect. So any units within that 6-inch bubble get that warlord trait on top of all their extra special rules. And some of them are really easy, like Saga of the Bear. It gives him a 6-up and feel no pain. All you have to do is pass 1 save. You pass 1 save, hooray! Everything within 6 inches gets a 6-up, feel no pain.
That's fun.
Whoa, holy shit, right? Versus, Saga the Warrior Born, you get an extra attack in the fight phase, but if you kill a character with that particular hero, okay, now everything within 6 inches gets an extra attack in the fight phase.
The one that definitely piqued my interest was your warlord kills any character, and they get an aura of everything attacks first all the time, even if they didn't charge. So everyone gets essentially Quicksilver Fighter from the Slanesh line, if that's kind of what you're familiar with.
Yeah, you fight before even those things that charge. The only time that you have to worry about not fighting first is if another hero.
And the one you're talking about there, Matt.
Yeah, what's it
that
called? Sorry.
Saga of the Warrior Born.
Yeah,
because
Warriorborn?
and that's the thing. Like you said, they're misprinted in the Codex.
Well, I wasn't really reading the one in the Codex. Just kind of going off by memory.
But Saga of the Warrior Born.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the?
Well, it's Wolfkin is the extra attack.
Yeah, Wolfkin's the
Wolfkin,
extra
okay,
attack.
okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I've got the FAQ that they released up
I have it
on my tablet now.
too. But
Yeah.
Either way, the warlord traits are really cool. Just for that reason. Yeah, okay, you're only gonna have one warlord, the warlord trait, for the most part. But
but then once you get that aura, oh my god,
yeah, it's beautiful.
you can starfish for days and just be a friggin'
You
powerhouse.
have a potential to, with wolves, do another hero death ball. Really.
Yeah,
you,
pretty much.
You can float your hero amongst all your dudes.
So
you can
does
heroic
that-
intervention in, and if he succeeds, he gets
Is
for
it-
everything.
The aura affects anything within 6 inches.
Any units, I believe. Any Space Wolf units.
It won't say in there.
Yeah,
No.
it says the Saga also affects friendly Space Wolves units
Oh, so
whilst they
transfers
are
over to
within
all
6
your other
inches of your
characters
warlords.
too?
Of your
Yes.
warlord,
Oh
yeah.
It
man,
transfers over to all your other characters. As
That
long as it's
is
Space Wolves,
insane.
it benefits from the warlord trade.
Also,
Within 6
side note,
inches.
bad Eric, the tentacles look awesome.
He's painting a really cool conversion.
Yeah, it's a malanthrope that's kind of more krakeny.
Yeah, he
it's
made,
really
made
cool.
it like a Kraken. It looks pretty sweet.
Give it a bunch of tentacles and whatnot.
but anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
Tentacles.
Tentacool.
and then we get to after the warlord traits, some of the stratagems.
Yeah, stratagems.
The stratagems, they added some of the ones like the Space Marines have.
Yeah,
that
you
are
get
pretty
the
basic.
the basic ones.
Like your Hellfire rounds for heavy bolter and your orbital bombardment and shit like that. But then they started also doing, which I was really hopeful that they would, and gladly they did, put a lot of stratagems in there that cater to the lore to support the Wolves' play style.
They probably have one now because Thousand Sons have one against. Is it Veterans of the Long War? No.
There is one in here that goes
That's
against
specifically against Thousand Sons.
Yeah.
Emperor's Executioners.
There you go. So
And
there's the one against Thousand Sons, and the Thousand Sons have one. I think it's actually called
Vengeance for Prospero.
Vengeance for Prospero. Yeah,
Right.
which is specifically for
Space Wolves.
Space Wolves, which means I have to start playing Thousand Sons, and then we can have a big epic battle
Exactly.
again.
That would be pretty sweet. You might get
those.
Mhm.
Dreamboat Derek might buy him.
Yeah, Derek
Yeah.
actually might pick some up for me.
But either way,
Oh, Dreamboat Derek. Sorry,
Dreamboat. Yeah,
you didn't
come
hear
on,
me
man.
say Derek.
Dreamboat.
Dreamboat Derek.
So yeah, it's really neat in here. There's a bunch of stuff that affects rune priests. They get nice bonuses. There's one in here actually where Living Storm affects one of their new spells, Living Lightning, and it ups the mortal wounds on there if you have two rune priests in addition to the one that's casting it.
Now you had an opportunity to try that out. Was it effective?
Oh yeah.
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 Oh yeah. Well, at least the way that I ran the army that I'm playing, it's a pretty nasty ball. I've got 3 squads of Grey Hunters, each with a Wolfguard pack leader, a Terminator armor, with a Frost Sword and a Storm Shield, and I've got 2 Rune Priests and Y'all Stormcaller, and the 3 of them link together, and you get Living Lightning, but there are also a bunch of good buffing and debuff spells for enemies, along with other mortal wound and neat spells for that kind of thing. And so they just move up the board,
Right.
and I have the option of getting Lone Wolves. I still have a decent amount of attacks. I can still shoot, and it's supported by 3 Psychers.
Which is savage.
Pretty strong Psychers, too. Because there's specifically a spell that Psychers can have that essentially you get an extra 6 attacks that tear armor to pieces during the melee phase.
That thing is savage.
It's pretty sweet. But we'll get to that anyway later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
The cool... it's really hard to say anything other than the cool thing all the goddamn time. Because
That's good,
I'm a
though.
fanboy.
Is there one not the other than the Living Lightning one? Is there one that sticks out to you the most that you're favorite about?
Oh, Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf.
All
Yeah, okay.
fucking day. I love it. You have one infantry dude. You give him 2 wounds, and he
Yeah.
rolls all failed hits and wounds.
Which is cool.
So you add characters to more characters
Yeah.
to more characters, and you just keep heroic intervening, and it's just like, well, I've got 15 fucking characters now. Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
So
Which you can be guaranteed that in ITC someone's going to take
Headhunter
against you.
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, provided they did their research and actually decided to bother to know that wolves do that, right?
Yeah, which
So,
probably happened.
Kyle looks like he wants to
And,
say something.
Well, while we're talking about the stratagems, one of the units and unit specific stratagems I'm actually most impressed with is the Long Fangs.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
The Long Fangs basically have a built-in captain buff, so they reroll ones to hit if they don't move. And
No, they reroll ones to hit at all times, but they select.
but it's got to be against that
It has to
specific.
be against a specific unit.
So you can't split fire.
You can split fire. It's just that only things that shoot at the nominated target get to reroll their
Okay,
ones
so you got a
to hit.
nominated target, you reroll ones to hit.
Yeah.
But they got a stratagem that's 1 CP.
Yep.
And you can for that unit you get to reroll all hits or you get to reroll all wounds for that unit, which is just nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's good no matter what you put on that squad, as long as you're picking the right targets. It's just a solid stratagem. And then the other one that I thought was really cool and would play really well with that was Keen Senses, which was another 1 CP stratagem.
Yes.
So if you wanted to combo these up, this would cost you 2 CPs, one for the rerolls and another one for Keen Senses. And Keen Senses eliminates any penalties to hit. So if you're up against somebody who's running flyers or something, and they've got that -1, or you've got Alatok and they've got that silly -2 combo, and you're no longer at a penalty. You've got Ghost Keels with -2, no penalty,
and
right?
And as Kyle's saying, I mean, on top of that, just to add to it, that totally ties in with the lore too. That's why the Space Wolves don't wear the helmets, because the helmets dampen their keen senses.
Right.
That's why they don't wear them unless they're in space and they got to worry about breathing and shit.
Right.
And so having that extra little thing in there, I mean, it makes sense with the lore. And for 1 CP for the Long Fangs, cool.
That's also extremely handy because in a lot of tournament play, people are just gonna run like straight up all the time. You see, like, Raven Guard, you see Stiggy's 8 with the -1
and I mean, that's
12.
exactly what my list is.
Yeah.
I've got Raven Guard, I've got Stygies 8. They're in the same list because that -1 to hit is so valuable.
Yeah, so you just can totally ignore that.
Yeah.
And just shoot at them with Long Fangs from, 72 inches away. Well, not 72, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, depending on what you're packing.
48,
right?
yeah.
The other side of the board, though.
Yeah.
So you can crank out a bunch of damage and not have to worry about those negatives, which is pretty fucking sweet, actually.
Yeah,
well, the nice thing is, I mean, like, even if you've got bolters in the squad, or because you wanted to buff out that Longfang squad, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you could still put a Wolfguard pack leader in that squad, correct?
Sure can.
So that's another unit that could benefit from the Lone Wolf stratagem in a really powerful way.
Yeah.
So there's no harm in there's potentially no harm in buffing out those squads.
Yeah. Which would be sweet.
Yeah, you can take a Wolfguard pack leader. So with your Long Fangs as
you
well.
You might as well then, right?
Yeah. I mean, especially for defense versus anything that's going to deep strike or whatnot. Because of course, people always want to deep strike behind and take out your dev squads or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can throw Wolfguard pack leader in there, and you can give them Terminator heavy weapons. You can give them Terminator melee. You can essentially give them any kind of Terminator shit.
Yeah, which is potentially just protection for your heavy weapons and a sweet Lone Wolf character for retribution if they go down.
So the Lone Wolf stratagem.
Yep.
It's quite groovy.
Lone Wolf stratagem.
The Lone Wolf stratagem only works if the one model is left in the unit.
Correct,
right?
and it's only infantry units. You can't use it with, like, say, Thunderwolf Cav.
Right.
But
that'd be so cool.
That would be so overpowered.
Holy fuck.
Yes, it would.
I mean, they're already T5. You probably put a Storm Shield on them because the Storm Shield only costs 10 points on them.
Yeah.
Fuck, that'd be so cool though.
Another one that I also liked in here too is with the Psychic when you use the Rune Priests. If you make a successful Psychic attack for 3 CP, you choose a Rune Priest that successfully made the Psychic power, and anything within any Space Wolf units within 6 inches, the enemies now have a -1 to all hit rolls. for ranged attacks versus
Just in
everything.
general?
Just in general versus
Oh.
everything within 6 inches.
That's pretty cool.
So I mean, it just gives everything a shooting buff.
And sorry, how many CPs did that cost?
3.
Okay, so it's a pretty heavy
It is.
CP
That's the
investment.
first one I've heard that's appropriately priced.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty heavy CP investment, but for -1 to hit and all you needed to do was successfully cast a power.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge, especially when you're such a melee-oriented army.
Yeah.
I mean, -1 to hit, and then, and I feel like this is a pretty good segue into the psychic powers.
Yes.
One of those psychic powers is just a 6-inch buff that grants you a cover save.
Yeah.
So you potentially cast yourself a 6-inch aura that gives you a cover save,
And then
spend the CPs, and now you grant yourself a -1 to hit bubble
versus
and a
all
cover
sh-
save.
Yeah,
Yeah,
versus
so you
all
got
shooting stuff.
-2.
Yeah, minus 2 to or enough on your save and -1 to anything shooting at them. So
Right.
A heavy CP investment, but maybe
with
worthwhile.
a 6-inch bubble and if you say you got a melee death ball there, I mean, it would be pretty worth it to me.
Yeah.
Especially if you intend to run like a whole bunch of squads and just kind of move it up. If you are going to do a death ball, put a couple of heroes in there, and everything's going to stick tight. And have to move up.
Maybe your Wolfen didn't get as far up the board on that advance roll as you needed them to.
Exactly. And you need them to survive or whatever.
Yeah.
It's neat to have that without having to really hope like that you have to cast 17 different spells or whatever, right? And moving on to spells, I was pretty happy with them.
They're really sweet.
There's some really cool. They're all actually pretty cool.
I think that's the only thing that I actually read all of the... Like, I went through and I specifically read those because I love the psychic power.
Yeah.
Like, the psychic phase is my shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I have to know.
Yeah. They're really cool. You've got...
That Living Lightning one is just so...
Yeah. So, Living Lightning, warp charge value of 6... the closest, it's essentially you cast it like you would a smite, just without the negating stuff, and it does D3 mortal wounds. However, if that unit is destroyed as a result, the closest enemy unit within 18 inches is now suffers D3 mortal wounds, and so on until the unit's not destroyed, or there's no enemy within 18 inches of the last model.
Yeah.
So mixed with that one stratagem, where Living Lightning does D6 damage if you got 2 Rune Priests with it, you walk up to some heroes or even just some units or get something almost dead and light that up in
Or a
there.
unit you've already cast Smite on.
Exactly.
Smite them, or you shot them, then you smite them on your next turn kind of thing.
Exactly.
Or if there's a bunch of, like, 5-mans kicking around,
Exactly.
you know,
And
get rid of those point cappers, just off them real quick.
Exactly. And then you up it with an extra 2 just being close by to D6 mortal wounds. You got D6 mortal wounds that hop around a couple of times. I mean, no complaints there.
It's insane.
Tempest Draft is cool. 24 inches. You pick something until your next psychic phase. They subtract 1 from any hit rolls they make.
Yeah, kind of like, and I mean, we all know that the horror, Tyranid spell book is
Fairly similar.
pretty top notch. Sees a lot of use in tournament play, and this is very similar, and very very useful for sure.
Yeah, third one, Murderous Hurricane. Warp charge value of 15. You pick something within 18 inches. And you roll a dice for each model in the unit, and it suffers a mortal wound for each 6 you roll out of that. So you get some bigger hordes. You want to chop down the numbers. I mean, it's not bad. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of extra stuff, especially if you have extra casts to use with a whole lot of different psychers. It's never really a bad one to use, really. Just don't use it on heroes, and you should be pretty much good to go.
Yeah.
Now, this is a really cool one with lots of attacks that everybody's pretty much been terrified at.
Yeah.
Fury of the Wolf Spirits, warp charge is 7, but the Rune Priest gets a weapon until the end of the next psychic phase. And it's a melee weapon, and it's strength 5, AP -3, 1 damage. But after you make your close combat attacks, you get to attack with this weapon and make 6 additional attacks.
So sorry, the Rune Priest gets that into your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Through your turn, through to your opponent's turn until your next psychic phase.
Yes.
Which in that case you could literally just try and cast it again.
Yeah. So you will very likely get, if provided your Rune Priest doesn't die, you'll get probably 2 fight phases out of it if you don't totally annihilate whatever it is you're fighting.
Essentially what that's doing is you summon 2 wolf spirits that fight beside you.
Yeah.
Which inspires a really cool kit bash,
Yeah.
right?
And also, just so the 2 wolf spirits that you are summoning are the wolf spirits of Lehman Russ's 2 wolves that follow him around, Frecky and Gary.
Freaky and Gary.
Yeah, or whatever the heck you want to pronounce it horribly. Hooray! But anyway, the one that Kyle was mentioning, Stormcaller, it's got a warp charge value of 8. You use it, and your Psyker and any friendly space wolves within 6 inches gain the benefit of being in cover. So it's like
a pretty straightforward. Sorry, what's the warp charge value?
8.
8. Okay, so
It is fairly pricey.
yeah, that's kind of getting into a territory where that and the combination of the stratagem are maybe not quite worthwhile, just
Yeah.
because that warp charge value is kind of getting pretty steep.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Nyal.
on Nyal,
no one.
Nyal, because he's got the +1 is pretty viable.
Yeah.
Because he's got +1 to cast, but it's getting kind of
And
It's a little up there.
yeah.
And last one was in the index as well. Jaws of the World Wolf, 7 warp charge value. Pick a unit within 18 inches that isn't a vehicle. You roll 2d6 and to subtract the target's move characteristic. The unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the result.
Which
Can be
is pretty brutal against like Terminators
or slowing stuff. The game I played against Kyle last, I managed to wipe an entire squad of his scouts. One shot, boom.
Boom,
I ended
done.
up. Got a good roll. All 6 of them were swallowed
Now-
into the earth, from which the earth then closed around them, ending them.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Scarab Occult Terminators move 4 inches because they're made of sand. That's really, really brutal.
Yeah. You got to know the movement.
Yeah.
Some things, you might not get as many mortal wounds out of it as you probably would out of maybe Living Lightning something, or even just a smite. So,
Well, Living Lightning's really cool, like cinematic wise, but I don't think it's you can pump out a lot of damage with it, especially with that stratagem. But if you roll it and you don't kill that unit, sure, you just get like an extra smite kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's the
But-
thing you do after a smite.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or-
It's that last one you try and
Yeah.
clean up and get
If
some
you've
bounces. And
if you've on your second turn you've loaded a bunch of units up with some shots and they're down to like 4, 3, 2 men left over and they're not dead yet, you can just pop that, roast them all.
move on
But
to the
if
next.
you're opening with that, that's not really a
No.
wise
No,
decision.
yeah. If you're running three priests, though, you have that as your last priest, right? So
Yeah.
you get 3
Yeah.
smites off, maybe another damage spell, and then you drop that.
Yeah.
And it might-
Yeah. Oh,
You
definitely.
Could, you could
Yeah.
clean house.
Especially
I
with D6.
attempted that with Eric with 3 room priests. However, he was running Tyranids. So there was often
30
they
model
were,
units.
there were often
Well,
way too many models.
and that too, but the Shadow of the Warp -1 to all your psychic
Yeah.
tests is rough.
well, I mean, it didn't make too much difference because I had Njal in there and you got +1.
The plus
so it
one,
was
yeah. So
negating it.
if he's your last caster, then that's kind
And
of
that's kind of what I was doing. I was saving the last little bit with him.
But you know what? The longer the game goes on, the better that spell gets.
Exactly right.
Oh man, what does Niall come stock with for weapons?
He comes stock with his fancy Stormcaller staff,
Yeah.
and he has Nightwing on his shoulder and a bolt pistol.
Okay, so
which is
not
literally
only
a
that,
bird that pecks people's eyes out.
Yeah, literally.
but you could then summon 2 wolves to fight with that, and
Yes.
he would just be a fucking murder house.
Yeah, I did that, and Eric tried and did his absolute best to
To
try
stop
and
it?
shut that shit down. And it actually went off once, the first game
And
that
it
we
was
played,
rough?
and he poured everything into making sure Njal was dead. So dead. All of the Gene Stealers, and I was just like, oh, I didn't get to use it.
That is
He's going,
insane.
thank
For a
God,
reason.
he didn't get to use it.
Not
That's
ever will.
outstanding.
So, I can't say I really blame him. It
Nothing
was-
about just having one huge powerhouse.
Exactly. He gets his 4 attacks
So fun.
with his fancy force weapon, and then he gets 6
Yeah.
with a whole bunch of armor shredding.
Just
Yeah, except
insane.
that's strength 5, AP -3, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's the damage on it?
Just 1 damage.
Okay,
one,
well,
but
I mean,
so many
still though.
attacks.
I mean, it's
Still,
AP -3. Like it's a better power sword.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
it's
And more attacks
insane.
than most even just heroes would get again anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's more than a standard captain gets.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean,
More than Death Company captain gets.
mhm. So,
Yeah, Death Company captain on the charge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just had a thought too, actually. After we've gone over everything, the one thing they don't have is getting back CPs. Almost every army's got that one.
Got
They do.
they do.
Do they have
Bjorn
Oh, Bjorn.
starts you with 1 more.
Bjorn.
No.
We were talking about like some
I
kind of
know.
recycling.
I know.
We haven't gone over
Yeah,
relics.
We
yet.
haven't gone over.
Well,
it.
I
there's
don't
one
think
relic.
there's anything in the
I don't think
relics
so
that
either.
grants you that.
Usually wasn't.
They're mostly just kind of some badass
Yeah.
weapons, some armors.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
Yeah.
we
Actually,
talked
one of
about
the
last week,
armors.
right?
One of the armors is pretty
Yeah.
badass. The armor
Wait.
of Russ is really cool.
last week. Last podcast?
Last podcast. Last week. When we talked about how they balance stratagem costs on the army alone, you know,
Yeah.
so the wolves might, you know, they aren't going to be getting to, you know.
Well, that's a good point.
They
They
can
might
guard
not
level
need.
CPs,
They might
right?
not need
Yeah.
the recycling because, and as
Everything
Chris
costs
already
one.
mentioned,
Yeah, that's true.
so many of the
Yeah.
stratagems cost one
Yeah,
already,
yeah.
right?
So there could be some abuse in our future.
And
Right.
maybe what we're
There's
seeing
already
is
some. I've been using and loving
very
every
near
minute of it.
future.
Bet you
I've been
could-
trying so hard to get as many lone wolves as I can because it's my absolute favorite.
You could probably
That's a
get.
great idea.
You just run 3 battalions, right? And you can get your
None
15.
alive.
18 CP, which might be a bit expensive, but 18? Are you fucking kidding
well,
me?
he's already got the guards set up, so
Yeah,
I
That's
mean,
true. You are running
with
guard.
the
well,
guard-
mind you, you've only been using
2 battalions.
well, not but I mean you've been using Kirov's Aquila. Or not Kirov's Aquila, you've been using Grand Strategist
Yeah.
alone without Kirov's Aquila, so you've only
Yeah.
been getting like half your CP recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play Space Ball.
Well.
So I guess with that, let's go over relics real quick, eh?
Relics, like Kyle said, Armor Rust is pretty sweet. 4 up invulnerable save. And in addition, start of the fight phase, choose enemy unit within 1 inch. The unit cannot be chosen to fight in the fight phase until all other units to fight have done so. If the target unit has an ability that allows it to fight first in the fight phase and instead fights as if it didn't have the ability. So if both players have units that cannot fight until all the units have done so, then alternate choosing which to fight with, starting the player's turns taking place. So in other words, you fight last.
Right.
Unless
Yeah.
you fight first, then you fight like a normal guy.
But you just take that one warlord trait, it don't matter.
Yeah.
You can be
No,
fighting
you
first
get-
anyways.
you get-
Well,
you
no.
get both,
This
right?
is something you apply to somebody else.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
and you get
Better.
to pick. You get to pick a unit
Yeah.
every time you're in a combat. You get to pick a unit, and that unit fights
When
last
does
every
it
time.
say you pick it?
In addition to the start of the fight phase,
Start
choose
of the fight phase.
Yeah.
choose an enemy.
Start of the fight phase.
Yeah,
So
choose an
after
enemy
you've
unit
charged.
within 1
Okay.
inch.
Yeah.
So you bum
Yeah.
rush Smash Captain, tell him that he can't do fuck all
Till
until he's
last.
dead,
Yeah.
and then you just destroy him.
Or
Yeah, pretty
Smash
much.
Captain bum rushes you, and you say, no, I'm fighting first. By the way, you're fighting last.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly it, right? Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
and
insane.
that's where
Holy
it's
hell.
most important is
That's
when
really
you've
good.
gotten charged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But picture that when you've got that rune priest, right? With
Freaking
all
Gary.
those bonus attacks. Yeah.
Ben and Jerry.
Yeah, all those bonus attacks, because you know one of the things that can be really tough to get around is a 3-up invuln save.
Yeah.
What do you want against that? You know, mortal wounds or a boatload of attacks. What can
Yeah.
the rune priest do? Punch out a boatload of attacks.
Yeah.
So you throw that on a rune priest. You throw your rune priest. You know, kind of try and bait that charge a little bit.
Yeah.
Get him in there. You
Throw him
know,
a little bit. You know?
great. You know. Boom.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Plus, what a rune priest doesn't typically have an invuln save, and that gives him a 4-up invuln,
Yeah.
right?
Which
Which is huge,
Super
That was-
and
that's
saves
one
you
thing
some points
that
because
you reminded me.
Yeah.
Rune priests can take runic armor. It gives them a 5-up invuln save. If you put them in runic terminator armor, you get, I believe, a 4-up invuln save. So
it's how many points is that though?
the runic armor is an additional 5 points to give it a 5-up invuln save to your rune
Yeah.
priest.
What about the Terminator?
I don't remember.
Probably
find out.
quite a bit more.
Let's find out. Consult.
We'll derail.
Well, Terminators are really good, so it's probably like 35 points.
there.
No, they dropped
So
them down to like
good.
25.
well,
Most of them, yeah.
I mean that's the base cost, right? But that
Yeah.
doesn't include
They're
a power fist and a
Yeah.
storm bolter, which they're
Yeah.
gonna have to start with, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or in your case, frost weapons. All the time.
Like, yeah, regular power weapons, but better.
I just totally derailed the relics. My apologies.
That's okay. Oh shit, they changed it. You can't take runic Terminator armor with the Rune Priest.
Well, all right.
It's only Njal Stormcaller that can take the runic Terminator armor.
But do you get the 4-up in
oh
Terminator
yeah, but that's
anyways?
because he wears regular Terminator armor though, doesn't he?
He wears his tournament air armor is covered in runes.
Yeah.
Retainer armor, yeah. So Nyal gets a 4-up invulnerable save when the runic Terminator armor.
Because Nyal's badass.
Yeah, Nyal's badass mother.
Yeah, so you just use Nyal as the guy doing this shit. Although he
Yeah.
can't take a relic,
No, he wouldn't be able to take the relic.
He probably won't.
but he doesn't really need it.
He can be.
But the thing is with that though, right, is because you're taking that relic, you get a 4-up, so you might as well just throw it on a rune priest.
Yeah. Well, and frankly, like, it doesn't have to be a rune priest. It could
Yeah.
be somebody else.
Yeah,
but,
it could just be one of your...
right, because you could. I mean, you're gonna have more than one character anyway,
Oh, yeah.
right? So, I mean,
But-
you could set it up with anybody. Just
You might as well
could-
throw it on the priest, or priest? Rune priest. Sorry,
Yeah.
my head vomited. Might as well throw it on him because then he's going to be casting the fucking wolf spell if Nyal isn't, and then he's just going to be a savage beast.
Yeah.
Or you just run the two of them together.
That's what I did. I just
Yeah.
run 3 rune priests at one of them's Nyal, and you just walk up the board and just like, oh, you're charging that squad of guys over there? And row freeze! 2 rune priests and Nyal and a whole bunch of wolf spirits
Just
show up, and I'm
And
going
battle
to
wizards.
essentially skull fuck you with my runic axes.
yeah.
So
So what about the other relics?
other relics are totally unimportant. No, I'm just kidding.
Compared to this one, they're trash.
Exactly. Croc and Bone Sword.
And that was the one that was in the chapter approved.
In chapter approved, used to replace Model's Frost Sword with Croc and Bone Sword. It's a Frost Sword, but instead of AP -3, it's AP -4. And it's for free exchange.
Might as well.
Might as well, right? And I believe you could take the Crack and Bone Sword as well as another relic. It didn't count, but I don't know.
What? No,
that.
you only ever get one free relic, right?
Gotcha.
So
Well, and not only that, but if you pay the extra CP, you can't put 2 relics on one person.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Armor Rust, which we just discussed. Black Death, not bad. It's a Frost Axe. Strength +2, AP -2, 1 damage. But each time the bear fights, it makes D3 additional attacks with it. So.
so it's kind of
Like
like,
Teeth of Terror,
it's kind of like the Teeth of Terror, but an axe.
Yeah,
that's
so
kind of cool.
You get some extra attacks out of it. Helm of Durfast. You can reroll failed hit rolls for this model's ranged attacks. In addition, enemy units never gain any bonus to their saving throws for being in cover for attacks made by this model. So
That's kind of cool.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extra shooting stuff. Especially if you're going to run a Wolf Lord or someone who has like a combi weapon.
Can you?
Yeah. Or
So-
or even
Yeah.
people that have 2-up, or rather, people that have rules that give them 2-up cover saves
Yeah.
when they're in cover, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Stackable.
Sucks it away.
Just gets rid of it.
Yeah, like Jormungandr
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Next one, Wolfenstone.
Camel
Get additional
cloaks.
additional attack for models in friendly space. Wolves, infantry, biker, and cavalry units that are within 3 inches of the bearer and make their attacks in the fight phase. So units Wolfen aren't affected, which I probably would be pretty OP giving them another attack with those nasty weapons and shit. But nor units that meet a charge within range of the Curse of the Wolfen Hunt ability earlier in the turn. So you don't really want to have it near Wolfen. Anyone who's near Wolfen won't get the boost.
Now,
And
would this stack with the Saga of the Wolfkin?
I don't see why not.
Because
Does not say anywhere. In addition, you cannot be affected by both Curse of the Wolf and Kill and the Wolfenstone in the same fight phase. So it says absolutely nothing about Saga of the Wolf King. So you could throw a Wolf Lord on a Thunder Wolf with the Wolfenstone as well as Saga of the Wolfkin. So be getting 2 extra attacks and so the other things around. And if he kills a character now, all of your Thunderwolf Cav or anything else would also be getting an extra attack with your aura. So
which sounds pretty badass.
as well as the Wolfenstone. So you'd be getting everything and being 2 extra attacks if you manage to kill a character.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of extra ouch capability in
Yeah.
there, right? And then the last one, Frost Fury, Stormbolter, 24-inch Assault 4, which is pretty sweet. Strength 4, AP -1, and it does 2 damage. If a model suffers any unsaved wound from this weapon but is not slain, roll a d6. On a 4+, the target suffers a mortal wound. That is a nasty fucking Stormbolter.
That's pretty savage.
I mean, Assault 4 at 24 inches
Yeah.
is
Yes.
Pretty insane.
pretty
Plus the mortal
sweet.
wounds. It's like you're just shooting like
as long as you made an unsaved wound. Yeah.
You're shooting essentially.
And if you did make an unsaved wound, that's 2 damage off the break already, right?
Yeah.
So
pumping icicles into people.
yeah, pretty much. Take the rest of it. So yeah.
No, I think that pretty much covers most of the Codex. Unless we're not really going into the nitty gritty of all the point costs and all that shit, as they just kind of match or were brought down to.
They're similar. Yeah,
pretty similar. But it sounds like a pretty fucking savage Codex. One thing that while we were having dinner came up in conversation that I wanted to bring up on the podcast was if all of the crazy stackable rules for characters in the Space Wolves Codex was going to inspire better, stronger Smash Captains. And now that we've gone through it, it's also kind of partially a bane to other people that are running Smash Captains because of that one relic, right? Your Smash Captain can run in, annihilate something, but if your Smash Captain gets stuck in heroic intervention even, or charges someone who's using that artifact, or relic, sorry.
Yeah.
You pretty much negate their plan, right? Because they charge, they're expecting to get first attacks, and you can just walk in and be like, nope.
Exactly.
Right?
Fuck you and the horse you rode in.
Yeah. or rather the jetpack.
Exactly.
But with their stackable rules and all their stratagems and their essentially stronger weapons with all the frost weapons, I was thinking, or rather I guess Chris brought it up, I was thinking it might have been sort of a replacement.
Almost a replacement, yeah. Yeah, because for the same price, you don't get 2 captains, you get a wolf lord, and you get the wolf battle leader, and then instead of rolling rerolled hits on both, you get hits and wounds.
So, and actually something we were curious about was, can you take the battle leader, which is the equivalent of a lieutenant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you take a battle leader with a thunder hammer and a storm shield?
And is the jetpack the same cost, I guess?
Which I think would be 19 points?
Because in the index, it was a 30-point difference.
Whoa!
So your scouts that you would take in that battalion can become Grey Hunters, and you get the same cost battalion, but you're rerolling hits and wounds. But
you definitely take a storm shield.
So she get Thunder Hammer.
You can take.
So you should be able to take Thunder Hammer.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
agree with you, Chris.
Yeah, you can take a Thunder Hammer.
Can he take a jump pack?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on.
So you can run a Smash.
Yes, you can take a jump pack.
You can run a Smash Captain and a Smash Lieutenant.
Yeah.
So that you get rerolls on
hits and wounds.
And you're hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s. It's a Thunder Hammer, most likely, right? In most cases.
Yeah.
And you're rerolling 1s and both.
Holy
so you're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s for hitting and
because they got a +1 on the charge.
Yeah.
Same number of attacks. Oh, number of attacks. Did
3 attacks.
Okay,
so you're one less attack.
Which I don't think is going to be a huge problem.
Yeah.
Especially because you still on 2s.
Yeah, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
Well, and that's the big thing is with their chapter tactic, right? You're hitting much more effectively anyway.
2s with Thunder Hammers.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if because of this Codex drop,
it might have gone up in points.
And you can kick it up another notch too, right? Because if you spend an extra CP, if you take a Wolf Lord and a Wolf Guard Battle Leader, you can throw Relic on each.
That's true.
You can throw the Armor of Rust on one of them motherfuckers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And throw something else like that Annihilating Stormbolter or something on the other.
Yeah.
Just be outrageous in combat.
So now the only thing I'd be curious about is it the damage output that those captains is that the most important part, or is it the fact that you get that damage and you can deliver them effectively every time, right? Because in your setup, Chris with the Blood Angels, in the game we just played, you were running 3 of them, but even if you were only running 2 of them,
or 1 even,
or one of them, 1 started on the table, and you had at least 1 in reserve to deep strike. So the one that started on the table got to move and charge. Right. With your stratagem setup, or could have. I believe you did it on.
I did it on Death Company.
On the Death Company,
I could have put him 9 inches away, give him a 3d6
and give him the 3d6 charge. Right. And you could have done that with the other one when it came in, and I believe
Exactly.
you did.
Yeah.
When he
One
came
per turn, right? That's
right,
the
and
idea.
you could do it one per turn, and you get those guarantees. Whereas with the Space Wolves Codex, they don't have any options that are going to grant them those guarantees. They get some rerolls, but those rerolls typically, when you're looking at outside 9 inches, you're not actually going to guarantee anything in. So like a second turn charge, almost certainly going to get that off, but you're probably not going to get anything in on the first turn.
Yeah, I see the Space Wolves being a little more defensive, where it's maybe not necessarily desperate, and basically is, but it almost seems like what I love about this is basically turn 1, you just have a shield wall that advances up the board, and then turn 2, just everything goes out.
Yeah.
And if they hit you on their turn 1, then you just heroically intervene with all your characters and hit
Pop
them
in
back.
there and just
Well, and I think it's
smash
got a
Yeah.
much better counterplay
Yeah.
against the Smash Cap, like
Oh,
the Blood
yeah.
Angel Smash Captain setup.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it straight up replaces the Smash Captain
No, like
setup.
aggression, I think the Blight Angels still win.
Yeah.
But it's the counter punch that you can give on someone else's turn is crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm glad because that also follows their lore. I mean, even
Yeah.
in 7th Ed, they all have the counterattack ability. If something attacks you, instead of you get a chance to gain that extra attack as if you had charged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gives that more of a counterattack. Yeah, not quite as aggressive.
Yeah.
Like,
But it
like
still
the Blood
gives that
Angels.
feel.
But you
Yeah.
still get the Space Wolf lore kind of feel to it.
It's very cool. Yeah.
So-
But I think, like in the end, I think adding 1 to your wounds is almost always better than adding 1 to your hits. But it's like with the heroic intervention, it's such a strong chapter trait.
It really
so
is,
strong.
and frankly, like
And Thunderhammer's hitting on 2s. Come on, that's insane.
oh, it's nuts.
That's so
it's
good.
nuts. Well, and then when you, I mean, one of the biggest problems with units like Terminators,
Yeah.
right, is that you got to take those Power Fists, and if
Yeah.
you're not taking Power Fists, you got to take Chain Fists,
Mhm.
right? And they're -1 to hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're hitting on 3s, and that goes to 4s, and you only have 2 attacks, you only get 1 hit basically. I mean, you're getting nothing out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're spending so much.
Yeah.
And now when you take the Thunderwolf Cavalry,
Yeah.
they have only got 2 attacks, which is in line with the other codexes.
Yeah.
But now you're hitting on 3s, and
Yeah.
that's fairly reliable, especially when you get the reroll ones.
Yeah. One thing I definitely will be doing, like, because I don't have a ton of funding to actually pay models for a full Space Wolves army with all the heroes and HQs and stuff. I'm doing a partial Guard, partial Space Wolves, and I have been happy with it and still enjoying it. 'Cause I still really like Guard. I always like their vehicles and all that kind of fun stuff. But it's definitely, looking at it, it would be very fun to do a very fluffy, straight Wolves army and really work into all those HQs and capabilities.
It would be
So
pretty sweet.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's how they tend to roll, and the fact that I can actually do that, like, at least decently effective, makes me warm and fuzzy inside. So
And that's always a good thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's very thematic for Space Wolf.
Yes.
Warm and fuzzy.
it sure is.
Especially with all that fur.
Yep, you betcha. Half the year is melting to hell, and all the other half the year is ice. So much ice.
I think that pretty much sums everything up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we really have anything
Kind of
else to
sounds
add.
like Canada too.
A little bit, yeah. Except we're not really Nordic.
No.
We could always
It's fucking hot and fucking cold.
We just
though.
live in igloos.
At least here in this point in BC, it's fucking hot, fuck cold.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're burned.
I don't know. No winter's
we're
not
literally
too
on
bad.
fire right
no,
now.
our winters
so-
our winters are pretty mellow, but
Yeah.
our entire world is on fire right now.
Yeah, our entire province is
smoke.
burning. So
Like affecting the whole world with how much smoke we're pouring out.
anyway,
All right, cool.
Well,
we did it.
we did it.
We did it! Yay!
Eric, do you have anything to say since you haven't said anything?
No.
Great. All right.
he has to say now. Thanks for your input.
nah.
Oh yeah, nah, mate. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Guys, girls, cats, and dogs. Thank you.
Wolves.
Wolves. Cats,
Yeah.
cats and wolves. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and hopefully you tune in again, because we'll be dropping another episode in about 2 weeks or so.
I don't know. We may move
I
to doing this once a week.
I kind of want to,
Yeah. I mean, I'd be up for that if we just pick like a certain point in our evening every Saturday.
Yeah, on
The
a
most
weekend
challenging
when everyone
part
can
is that
show
it's a
up.
lot of
Yeah.
work for Matt.
It is. It's a lot of editing for me. It takes about 2.5 hours to edit an episode, and if it goes right the first time and I don't have to redo it, then that would be ideal.
What if we record 2 episodes back to back and you release one in 1 week and then you have a whole other week?
Don't tell the listeners
We
that.
could do that. The only
You
thing
can just
is,
cut it out.
You're not my dad. Don't tell me what to do. But I did.
I've lost my train of thought now because I was going to say something. Oh,
for the chew.
we've made a Facebook page, and I'm sharing the shit out of it, at least to the Kelowna group. And it's growing slowly. It would be nice if it grew faster.
I don't know, we got like 10 likes, I think.
Yeah, 6 of them are us.
Aw,
I didn't like
That's-
it.
oh, so 5 of them are us? That's
Okay,
actually
5
better
of them are us.
ratio
Exactly.
than
One of them's my
Good
mom.
job, Eric. Good
one of them's
job.
mom.
Good job, Eric.
Oh man, I bet if I tell my parents about it, they'll like it too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They won't appreciate any of the content,
No.
but hey, that's something.
Yeah.
We got a 5-star.
Maybe
review.
some of their friends' kids will see it.
we got a 5-star.
Yeah, we
review.
do have a 5-star review, actually.
Is it legit?
Thanks, good Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is legit.
It's not a bot. Someone posted it.
Yeah.
Who is it? Oh, weird.
Yeah. If you wanted to follow us there, it's just the Dropped Podcast. You can type that in the little search bar. It'll come up. But we'll be posting pictures of games we're playing.
Stuff we're working on.
Hobby
Yeah, stuff we're
progress.
working on. Hobby
Yeah.
progress. That's actually a really good thing to add.
I can
Uh,
periodically take pictures of all the Tyranids that die in every game I play.
There's a huge
The bucket?
pile over there right now.
Yeah, I actually won that game by 1 point.
You did.
1 point.
By
Look
1
at you
point,
go.
I actually beat his
Wow.
swarm army. But
Good
we
job.
also played the old "What's Mine Is Yours."
I mean,
so
whatever.
kind of screwed him a little bit.
Yeah, so it was invalid, and technically you lose by disqualification.
what?
It's just house rules. I'm sorry. We all
Okay.
live by
Oh,
Fair enough.
yeah, okay.
Fair enough. Not
We,
my house.
we all live by them. Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you guys next time.
It's a hard knock life
For us, it's a hard knock life for us.
You look like you're gonna like bash my skull in with that one.
Just carrying it.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, Eric. What did I do?
It's the same way he carries it when he watches you sleep and he's holding a hammer. Right? I don't sleep.
Chris is a
I wait.
vampire.
Blah, blah, blah.
Actually, I only got 3 hours of sleep this morning.
Same.
Really?
Yeah, because my cat was being a piece of shit.
How do you guys live?
Poorly.
God damn it, Kyle! You got stuck in my head.
So let's replace it with Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle
I will
bell,
slap
jingle
your
bell,
fucking
jingle
glasses
bell
off of your
rock.
face.
Jingle bell swing.
Singing, la 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 la.
In the frost beer.
Someone's gonna find all 5 of you dead. Oh, it's recording.
5 of
It's the right.
It clearly didn't pause.
There's 4 of us and 1 of them.
Unless someone
Let's
hit
So
freeze
rock
again.
this night away.
Well,
I only know half the words, but the tune. Fortunately, the tune is
We
forever.
go riding in a one-horse sleigh.
Well, it didn't pause, so
So now they have.
all of that.
Great.
plus-
Maybe that could be our intro.
No, sure can't be.
It'll start off with "Damn it, Kyle."
That's the Jingle Bell Rock, you guys.
That's when you'll know. Damn it, Kyle.
Catch me, cat.